Welcome to the SVG-TV News for Friday, February 6th. I'm Khalil Cater with the details. The 4 students of the North Union Secondary School who perished in the rock gutter minibus accident were honored with a Thanksgiving service earlier today at the New Life Ministries Church in New Grounds. With the survivors leading the pack, the gathering then marched to the school where a mural was unveiled and a tree was also planted in their memory.
Described as angels, the 4 students from the North Union Secondary School who lost their lives in the rock gutter accident, Chan Stacy Estee, Anik Alexander, and Jamali Edwards, had a Thanksgiving service, mural unveiled, and a tree planted in their memory. At the service, held under the theme, Celebrating Their Lives, Cherishing Their Memories, poems were read.
Let us pledge to accept. Let us all pledge to be strong. Even though memories are all we have left, our angels are now safe and sound.
Songs rendered by the staff as well as fellow students. A moment of silence was observed. Principal Sinclair De Santos recalled a challenging year pre the rock gutter accident and said his faith was ultimately tested with the minibus accident. With the utmost gratitude, he thanked everyone for their support. Representing the Ministry of Education, Senior Education Officer Asfo Stevens shared his experience of losing a student while he was a teacher, as well as his wife. He encouraged the grieving family and friends by reminding them that from their turmoil, they would eventually be able to help others get through similar tragedies and shine through like gold. North Windward Representative Montgomery Daniel comforted the congregation by reminding them that everything happened for a reason. He was quick to commend the divers for being some of the first to respond and handed them plaques and vouchers for their heroism. South Central Windward Representative Saboto Caesar said the vouchers and plaques and initiative to remember the students was made through a contribution from a UK investor who wished to remain anonymous. He proudly gave the parents who had lost children plaques thanks to the undisclosed contributor. Acting Prime Minister Gurlin Miguel advised those grieving to cheer up and to remember that
students, colleagues, this morning we can say it is well. It is well. Praise the Lord. We have come into his house today to utter the song of praise. May I remind us that the song of praise is the song of war against the evil one?
there is no doubt that the healing process is necessary for the students who have gone through such a traumatic accident. But one of the ways the healing process has begun is through this memorial right here at the school. Reporting for SVG-TV News, I am Sharon Garraway.
Meanwhile, the divers who risked their lives to save those involved in the rock gutter accident that should be on the morning of Monday, January 12th, were recognized for their bravery at the Thanksgiving service. They received plaques and vouchers and were happy to share with SVG-TV News what it was like to brave the raging waters on that fateful day.
Tell us, what has it been like to venture into the sea?
Well, it was very difficult at that time when I reached there, because when we reached there, nobody was in the waters yet, just me alone. I was so excited that time and kind of coward. Yeah, so, well, after I in the water, them guys come on in the water and meet me, saying they're trying to help find the dead bodies of them. Yeah.
And some of these folks are your family and relatives and friends, close friends, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about something like that happening to you?
Something like that happened to me, I would feel so sad, you know, so sad. So that's the only thing I feel, so it's just sad. Something like that happened to me, my family out there, probably. I don't know how I would have feel different than sad. Right.
And how did you You use your scales to go down in the water. Tell me what kind of, scales you use.
Well, the water there is usual to us. We burn up that water is like our homeland. We train in that water and everything, so there was no problem. We just look at the tide and see what time to go in the water, and we just look at the tide. When the tide is right, we just jump in the water.
Parliamentary representative for South Central Windward, Saboto Caesar, says the rock gutter accident has motivated him to garner and train divers from some of the rural communities. He said that last Saturday, some 25 swimmers from Oria came out to participate in an instructional swimming session with the St. Vincent and Grenadines Swimming Association. He said the aim is to get professional swimming coaches.
On that morning, because one of the most shocking things that I have ever seen in my life is the bravery of these young men, because those of us who were there who saw the waves as tall as a light pole, I made a call to the Swimming Association, and in honor to them, they are now being trained as swim coaches, and they had their first swim meet at Oria, where over 25 young persons came out last Saturday, and they're going to be trained to become professional coaches in swimming.
Meanwhile, the Pan Against Crime Committee will be teaming up with the the Association of Artists, Writers and Producers to stage a gospel concert in Fancy to show solidarity, love and support for the survivors of the rock gutter incident. The concert, which will take place on February 22nd, will be the first in a series of activities to mark the 7th anniversary of the Pan Against Crime program. That day will also be the 40th day since the rock gutter tragedy. Slated to make performances at the concert are the Police Band, Southeast Steel Orchestra, La Gracia Dancers, the Prime Minister's Office Choir, Jewel Cordis, representatives of churches in the area, and police youth clubs. Short exhortations will be delivered by ministers of the area. In the aftermath of the December 2013 flash floods that claimed the lives of several persons across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Pan Against Crime Committee had joined forces with the Association of Artists, Writers and Producers to stage similar gospel concerts. The Pan Against Crime anniversary concert will be held on March 7th this year in Rosebank. SVG is embarking on the creation of a chemical profile which, according to Dr. Daniel Daniram, a representative of the Basel Convention, is a much-needed document for the country. The Basel Convention is an international treaty that was designed to reduce the movements of hazardous waste between nations and specifically to prevent the transfer of hazardous waste from developed countries to less developed countries. Daniram will be collecting data from all government ministries to create the profile. At a media briefing today, Daniram says that the chemical profile will serve as a reference document with the purpose of providing records when needed, as well as to point out any discrepancies of distribution, use, or disposal.
I'm here to basically help St. Vincent to collect existing data on chemicals imported and used and exported from the country. To date, we have met with the different ministries, and they have all committed to supply whatever information is available to build this chemical profile. The chemical profile is important as it serves as a reference document for the country. So basically, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is to actually look at where St. Vincent, where the country is in terms of chemicals, in terms of what is imported, how is managed, if there are any gaps, how we fill those gaps, and how we can move forward in terms of managing chemical as a Caribbean region.
She further states that the idea behind the chemical profile is to ensure that the environment is free of any harm which the disposal of chemicals may bring.
So I am hoping within the next month or two, I come back with a completed chemical profile, and we try to set up what is called a national committee, where we have representatives from each agency, each ministry, come and sit together on a board when it comes to import of chemicals into St. Vincent. This helps meet the obligations under the Rotterdam Convention, as well as it helps with meeting international standards such as the World Summit and SICAM initiative. It's about disseminating information and sharing information to manage chemicals to prevent environmental risks.
2015 has been deemed a make-or-break year for the owner of the Bigger Trucking and Blocks Construction Company, Leon Biggerbig Samuel. Samuel told SVG-TV News that he is very optimistic about getting his business up and running again, and is also looking forward to seeing his children go off to university before the year is out.
Who I really groomed from very small was to really become the natural manager and person to take over the company. Should have really been doing his final year, but because of the hiccup and the setbacks we had because of the issue, I could not have sent him out. But I'm seeing things are put in place, begin to fall in place, so that he likely could be going off this new school year. I still somewhat, I would say, I'm still young, so I would think I could be able to hold the fort for him a little longer until.
Today, the world over celebrates Bob Marley Day, as designated by the Grammy Museum in remembrance of his birthday. To celebrate its most famous son, Bob Marley's home country of Jamaica is hosting a 6-day star-studded festival that started on February 1st in Negril. Before his death from cancer in 1981 at the age of 36, Marley received the United Nations Peace Medal of the Third World in 1978. He was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994, and in 2001, Marley was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys. Local musician Papa Eyston, who has been celebrating Marley Day over the years, says his inspiration comes from the deceased legend, who has produced music for everyone, which is still being enjoyed today.
And we need to put it in our heads that this is a man that teach our children the rights and right way to go, not the lyrics to make them go take up a gun and shoot somebody, rob somebody, or he sings about one love. Even your kids can listen to music. My kids, they all can sit together and listen to Bob Marley. But there's a lot of the songs I was hearing this morning on the radio stations that your children couldn't sit and listen to. So please, I'm just saying to the DJs, don't play for yourself. Play for the people out there. So the 6th of February, please, people remember the radio station especially. Even though it's 4 hours, play it.